Well, you know, I mean, it's definitely the videos and stuff that you've been doing, like the Faxchat and that, been good. You know, everybody sort of enjoyed it, and you know, seeing like different videos and different clips and tips.
We really want to start having a look at getting up some proper tips. You know, like 'cause there's no out there really. There's a couple of videos out where people are saying wheelchair rugby league is like running game, and the generic Bob standard. This is rugby league. We like rugby league, and tap the ball on the floor. We want something like that's a bit more down to earth, and so people can just be like if I were going up to a school and I were telling a kid about how to play wheelchair rugby league, I'd be like, it's awesome. I'd be like, this is what it's going to be doing. You've got to tap the ball on the floor, but you're going to get hit, and it's awesome, and it's like actually playing rugby. It's the closest thing to rugby league. No, it is rugby league. It's better than it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's a much faster game for me.
It's a brilliant game, and it's obviously it's done wonders for the likes of myself and you, and obviously your brother and everybody else that's ever played it. You know, and things. It's like no other sport really. I mean, obviously we know me. I do sevens as well, but obviously the sports having that inclusivity and everything else, and it's just simple.
Yeah. On the inclusive side of it, sort of thing. Like we'll put the question to rest so you don't get asked it anymore. Yeah. Mark Williams, relation or not relation?
No, he's not. He's not a relation.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah, we always laugh about that at training. Like we're the minions, we're called, because we're always messing around and getting into trouble. So yeah, that's what we are. So.
Yeah. But I've seen on your Facebook, because I've been Facebook stalking you before.
Oh, nice.
And
that's it.
Did you used to play running basketball?
I did, yeah. I used to play running basketball since I was about 11, and basically when I was about, let's see, what am I, 34 now, about 29, 30ish, I injured my knee, but I didn't know for about 2 years what had actually gone wrong with it.
Carried on playing
as best I could, and in that time I'd already started playing wheelchair rugby league, and I couldn't ever imagine never playing basketball, because it had been so much of my life. People had always said, oh, you're Stu, basketball Stu, you know, everybody knows me for that, and used to do loads of coaching and things, and I never really imagined a day without basketball, but now it's kind of the other way around. Yeah. I can't imagine a day without rugby league or rugby sevens or anything like that really, because it's
like a drug.
Yeah, it is. It's great, and obviously when I found out what it had done to my knee, and the doctors had said, look, no more basketball, because you won't be able to walk if you keep playing like that. And I just thought, well, okay then, fine. You know, it wasn't such a hit to the system, because I had something there which was rugby league. You started your
transition before your actual disability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was good. I mean, obviously my disability is epilepsy, but obviously that's the other beautiful thing about the sport is like, obviously with the fact that I'm epileptic, it affects my coordination at times, or you know, I can fatigue quite well, you know, quite quickly. Sometimes I just get very confused from time to time, but that's just normal, I think, really.
That's just human behaviour.
That's just human behaviour, really. But yeah, it's a great thing, because obviously you get to play with so many people from different, you know, walks of life, different, you know, abilities and disabilities, if you like, and it's great. It's just an awesome experience.
Yeah. I was talking with Fred Nye from Argonauts, and we were talking about what was the word now? The word was, it's like a innocent ignorance around at the moment, especially when you're going to talk about trying to plug wheelchair rugby league, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I've seen that on the telly. And it's like, you haven't.
No, you haven't.
I mean, you definitely haven't. You've seen Murderball and whatnot, and there's the ignorance on that, but also the trying to get more people involved in the sport. It was something Fred was saying. He was talking to someone, saw him on tube, and they were in a wheelchair. I think it was a single amp. Yeah. But he'd asked him, have you ever been interested in playing wheelchair rugby league? Have you ever heard of wheelchair rugby league? And the guy says, oh no, I don't. I'm not one of them ers. I was like, what?
One of them ers.
Like, I mean, what chance have you got when the disabled players think the worst of the sport? They're thinking like that, and it's.
I think, you know, The different, I think, where the misconception lies is obviously we have a sport out there, wheelchair rugby, which is murder ball, as we all know. It is what it is. It's murder ball or
it's got a
quad
job,
rugby, and it's a great sport for what it was designed for originally when it was designed in Canada.
The armies, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically it was for people rehabilitating. As I understand it, they were rehabilitating. They couldn't play basketball because the functionality they couldn't
the
actually.
Disability was a lot more severe.
Yeah, so they couldn't do that. So they adapted a game, and it's fantastic. But the problem, I mean, this is me personally, and I think it's sounded out by a lot of others, is calling it wheelchair rugby. It causes massive confusions, because you probably get this or have had this where you sort of talk to somebody, you go, oh yeah, I play wheelchair rugby league, and they go, what, the one in the Olympics? And you go, no. And they go, well, why are you playing it? And you think, well,
and then you've got to go into the conversation, inclusiveness and
oval ball.
A lot of people really don't understand why we're inclusive. They don't see the thing that a lot of people do see the AB players as the cheaters really, and it's like asking that question: how are you going to get people to see it for what it is, sort of thing? Like,
yeah, I think it's funny because, like you say, people go, oh, well, that's not fair. You're able-bodied, how can you play the sport? Because you've got surely an advantage, and you go, well. Kind of, yeah. I've got a strength advantage maybe, but I haven't necessarily got a manoeuvrability advantage of somebody who uses a wheelchair.
Sidestep or jump.
Exactly, you know what I mean? We're all strapped in. We're all playing at the same height, and pretty much anyway, unless you're Andrew Higgins, who ends up with a basketball chair that's like 2 foot higher.
Sometimes I think he's got like a crank at the side. It just cranks it up a bit before he goes into attack.
What it is he's got a really, really elastic spine, so he just sort of pulls himself up and stretches. But it's a strange thing because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there's a bit of a divide with people, from all different areas and groups, whether it's acceptable or not. Yeah. Me personally. If you talk about inclusiveness in life and inclusiveness in everything, then what's the problem at the end of the day? You can't have it one way and have it another for everything else. It's got to be across the board, and this sport and obviously other sports like it help that at the end of the day.
I've talked with Wayne Boardman about it a lot, and obviously with the basketball they have a classification system, don't they? And I know the French have started using one.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have complained about it at the moment because, like I thought I don't think it's ready for classification yet. But what the idea me and Wayne share is eventually there has to be classification because, like you say, inclusive is inclusive. So the second you start, and classification is going to push people away in that sense. ABs to not play as much, or higher, people with less of a disability. We're not going to be able to play as much, but I think it has to happen at some point. Because if you think when we get a lot of play, if you think of like the England side, if you had 3 Sebs and then 2 Jack Browns, it's like eventually, what's the point in taking Wayne?
Well, yeah, I agree, and I think that the principle that we have is that obviously there's 5 players on the pitch. You've got 3. Disabled or registered disabled, and then 2 ABs, or you can go with a complete 5 ratio and things like that. ABs. And I think that's not a bad thing, really.
It's working,
I mean, it's working, and it works well. And from the point of view of, you look like, well, how are you going to get these other people playing it and things? Well, that's up to the dynamic of the sport. We've got to encourage more people to play it, and eventually, people like yourself or me and that will sort of step away, and obviously other people will come in just because of obviously time.
I think that'll be because of my age, to be honest.
Yeah, well that's because of the age, yeah, exactly. But there will be opportunities for other people to come in, and obviously, I think it comes down to the whole how you envision a disabled person. Because at times that's
I've seen them pictures on Facebook where they're going around a lot, where it's the men's bathroom sign and then the disability sign, and so which one of these is disabled? Both.
Both, yeah, exactly. And I think that's what the misconception is, especially when you say you play a wheelchair sport, because they go, why are you playing a wheelchair sport? Because you don't use a wheelchair? Well, why not?
Even Nathan Mullall from our team gets that because he walks everywhere. He's got CP.
I seen that crazy video that happened when you were at the Fax game, where the guy asked him to get out of the disabled zone.
There's a funny story about that. I mean, Akko says it in the video, but Jade, my wife, was stood up, and Akko offered his seat to her. Akko's only got one limb. It's like, he said, "Oh, Jade, go on, you sit down here," and then she sat down next to Mullall, and the guy came over and asked and told Mullall that these seats are for disabled. Not Jade.
No.
So Jade got to sit there, but no, Malcolm went off on him.
I don't blame him, to be honest.
We saw him there the other week, actually, the same guy.
Oh, did you?
He'll work at car park now.
He's not working in the disabled section, right? You're clearly not very good with people. Go work in the car park. Just look after the cars.
I love it.
It's a crazy thing, isn't it? It's the misconceptions of what it actually is and what it looks like, and like it's like that. Sometimes people say, "What's a lazy person look like?" And obviously, you ask them to draw it, and they'll always draw someone fat person, don't they? You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a fat person.
That's just been drilled into us from childhood, isn't it? It's everything in the news and the papers, everything that does that.
But this is what it does in this sport as well. And I think the good thing about this sport is you've got us lot who are all. I'd say that everybody seems to be happy with the case in point that it is played by people who, can generally get up and walk around and things like that, but they may have a hidden disability that you don't know about, and there may be people who are able-bodied and they play as well, and everybody plays together, and it's wheelchair users, and it's everybody across the board, and nobody really minds. Everybody loves it because it's just competitive.
I think what people need to see is the side of it where you can have a disabled player and put Wayne up against another AB. I'm not making any names or anything like that, putting him out, but Wayne's I can't remember the number, but his spinal break really high.
Yeah.
And like that's a really close to being quad sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like you put him up against he can run rings around a lot of ABs, and it's like if people could see that, hang on, you're an AB, you have to be stronger and faster than him. Wayne can outrace me sometimes.
That's it.
The guy's got no core.
Exactly. And I think that's definitely the funny bit is like a lot of people have this image that obviously, you obviously got nothing actually structurally, physically wrong with your spine or your legs and things like that. So you must be strong enough to be able to beat everybody. And you think, oh,
there's so many aspects to it as well. Like the chair that you use in the tyres.
Exactly.
There's so many things that go into it that could.
It's like motorsport. But obviously you're driving it, literally.
Like if you stick Hamilton in a different car, he's not going to be going first, second all the time, is he?
Well, that's it, exactly. And I think we are at a point where with the sport, I'd hope personally that the classification thing, they do it the right way.
Yeah, it's got to be well thought out, doesn't it? Yeah.
Because if they don't do it the right way, you're going to end up pulling the sport apart.
That's what I think's happening in France. A lot of teams have pulled out of the sport completely because of it, because they can't field a legal team.
Yeah, and what's the point of that? At the end of the day, you want people to.
We've always said
active and want people. You want people to be competing. You want people to, if anything, have something to do.
Yeah. Because
that's what it's about. Is so what? There's people who will have aspirations of, playing for the nation and like yourself and me and then there'll be other people who just enjoy the social side of it. But if they get told that they can't go and play in a game because, they don't quite reach the classifications, then isn't that discrimination in itself?
It is, yeah. I was doing basketball coaching for a fair few years, and nothing worse from a coaching perspective. I think you've done basketball coaching, obviously. But like have you ever coached wheelchair basketball?
I've tried doing a bit of it. It's hard from
my
point of view.
When you're in a game, you need a calculator, but and you need all of this, and you're like, that person's flagging, so I need to sub him on. But if I take him off, I've got to take 3 other players off to put these 2 on, and I have to play that person, but that person's tyre's broken, and you're just like, why can't I just put the players on that we want to play on? I want to put my best 5 on, and then I want to put this development player on, but you just can't. You've got a kid who wants to play who's really good. You're like, sorry, we can't play you, or we can't field a legal team. And
then you got now it's gone even odder, I think, in the basketball thing, because I remember it was like you get if someone's under the age of 18 or something in the league,
Oh yeah,
you get like negative
half a point.
Yeah, half a point.
If you've got a one, we always say the golden player for basketball was a girl under 18 who was a 1 pointer. Coral Beatty.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
Coral's a 1 pointer.
Yeah,
and then she plays as minus 5 points. When she was a junior, she played as like minus a point.
It's just like.
Well, she's getting all the game time.
Yeah. I hope you're conditioned. I hope you're not going to flag because you're staying on whether you like it or not.
I briefly touched on the international side of things now. Yeah. So you're obviously captain of Wales still, are you?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not going to jump the gun on that or anything.
But no, we announced the team for the Celtic Cup the other day.
Yeah,
I got announced as captain again. So.
Yeah.
It's one hell of an honour. And it means a lot to us, to be honest, to be just to be there, just to be in the team, but obviously to have that if you like honour, that true honour, like knighthood is almost.
There's one thing we've always been impressed with Wales is how close your team is.
Yeah.
The Welsh and North Wales Crusaders, but especially at international level, all you guys, it's like you've all got the same mum and dad. You're all, obviously I'm going back to Mark Williams now, but
yeah.
But you have got a really good close knit team, and I know it's like a cliche thing to say, but you generally, I know one else is like most teams got cliques and things like that, and it just seems like you really are united. And I remember watching Celtic Cup last year, and that's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yeah, that's at the end of the month.
Yeah. I can't go to that, I'm away.
Oh,
I'm gutted.
I'm gutted as well because it was great having you down there doing some filming. And,
that's when I saw Roma, because I was talking to Steve from Roma.
Yeah.
And I've seen Ireland getting set up and Scotland getting set up as well, so I bet it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, and I like it because this is my 4th Celtic now, and the first one was great. It was in Blackpool.
I remember that one too.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good experience, and we won and everything else. And then we had the next one in Scotland, Stirling. Unfortunately, it wasn't really as competitive as we would hope. I mean, it is an unfortunate situation. Yeah. I think we only conceded 1 try across the 2 games, which was it felt a bit weird, really, to be honest. Yeah. But then I was really chuffed with last year's Celtic Cup at D-side. Because
the Barbarians team they put in was really strong. It brought a new dynamic, didn't it? It
was brilliant, and the level, the competitiveness was there the entire time, and it was just fantastic.
Great game.
And I was so pleased for Scotland and obviously the Irish Barbarians that were there, because it was challenging, and it felt like a great atmosphere, and it felt like a really competitive game. We had to be on our toes excuse me, Paul, but you know what I mean. We had to be on edge all the time. We were like, can't make mistakes. It was great. It was well thought out, and I'm looking forward to this year as well. And I hope it happens again.
If anyone hasn't seen the Celtic Cup from last year, I'm sure Argonauts have got it up on their page. I think they filmed it all the games. I think we might have had some, but I don't think we were able to put it up. But they'll be able to check them out on YouTube and find them. So. Do you remember where it is?
I don't know actually. The top of the head.
I'll have to find it out. I might have put it in the descriptions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to that. There's a new feeling for this season, isn't there? I can't remember. I don't know if I saw you at the launch.
Yeah.
But the talk there's like a real energy boost this season coming through. Like we're getting from above anyway.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot more games with a lot more teams. We've got who's come out now. We've got Army.
Yeah, you got an Army team, and I think there's Newcastle Falcons. The actual running team are looking to start formulating a team together, and then obviously
Warrington Wolves. Is it?
Warrington Wolves, yeah, that's another one exactly. And to me, that's a really good thing is when you've got the Super League teams, the actual the running game, actually getting on board, and actually having an inclusive squad. Because it just shows that they're committed, and it means that then the entire rugby league setup is fully committed. It's not just you got RFL and then you got the wheelchair branch off to the side. No, it's everything's
they really are
integrated.
Linking it all together. I know from on an England side of things with the people who are telling all the running teams what to do, and so they're telling us what to do as well. We've all got the same boss now. We're all getting told off by Kevin Sinfield and stuff like that.
That must be interesting. Like,
yeah, what annoying.
There was this guy shouting at me. I was, oh, it's you, Kevin. Nice.
funny. I actually met Kevin a few years ago. I scored some tickets to Challenge Cup final.
Oh, nice.
I got them off Martin Coyd. One day, and I proposed to Jade that day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. They'd set up me and James Simpson to have a talk with Sky or something.
Oh, yeah.
And we're doing a little talk on the stage, and then Martin had sorted it out so that after they'd done this conversation, said, Jackie, I think you got something to ask. So I had to stand up in the VIP lounge, and Kevin Sinfield and everyone, all of these amazing stars from Rugby League are all there. And then I've got to propose to Jade like that. And Jade always told me, don't you ever propose to me in front of a massive crowd. I did it at Wembley Stadium on Fox, on Sky News, and I didn't pay for a drink for the rest of the day. Then.
No, that's all right.
We got to sit in Royal Box and everything.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I've got proper look. I was like, she can't say no.
Yeah. So it's like, no, I'm all right, thanks. Don't want to do that now.
But that was not a reflection of how I was going to be living my life anyway. I've never been there again or got anything close to something that cool.
Do you know what? Maybe you need to get a divorce and then just get back
do it
together
again,
and see what happens. You know what I mean?
I heard a story with someone on Facebook, and they were putting videos up, and it was a married couple, and every time they went for a meal, they proposed again. So they took the wedding rings off and proposed at every meal, so they'd get free desserts or champagne.
Oh, that's awesome. That's crafty, but awesome at the same time. No. But no, I mean that sounds like an absolutely fantastic experience right there, and you know that's the really nice thing is obviously, you know, you get to experience these things as an international. You know, you get to go
best, yeah.
See some crazy stuff.
I think at the beginning, when it all starting off, when it was right back in the olden days.
Back in the olden days.
You
really make yourself sound old here, buddy.
I'm old, mate. I'm old. I remember.
How old are you?
28.
34. Get over it.
I get knocked out of my chair more than you.
That's true, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I remember all the way back to 2005, the first one, when we were posing as GB and no one was involved or anything like that. And I count myself extremely lucky to see wheelchair rugby league. It is like a sort of baby, and sort of followed it all the way through. And
yeah, no, you've been there from the beginning, and it's amazing because like you do have an incredible, if you like, stardom in the fact that like people know your name. It doesn't matter where you know who you're talking to around the world.
To me, that.
But that's a great thing. That's an absolutely awesome thing, you know. Because
my mates at the pub and stuff like that, and they're talking about it. I get jip all the time, and I'm just like, oh yeah, wheelchair famous.
Wheelchair famous.
It's just like no, it's not that. It's like I'm not no. I think there's just it works best when I think people are just genuine.
Yeah, and I generally. I can't really think of anybody in the sport who doesn't enjoy meeting everybody and actually looking forward to playing each other and things like that.
Yeah, I've seen it in basketball when we play games. Sometimes you finish a game and people are just like, oh, sod this, I'm going out. And there's that much respect in rugby league, in the running game too. That it's just like you just don't see so much camaraderie between rival teams and stuff like that.
No.
Us and Leeds, I mean, we've got a massive rivalry now at the moment.
Oh God, yeah, it's huge.
We love them guys.
Yeah.
We get on so well. We're all mates, and I like seeing Nathan Mullall and Tom Halliwell getting together because they're banter like they both play in Halifax or they both play in Leeds, and I think that's a great thing about the sport is that people it's that friendly. It's just.
Well, that's it.
Such a good environment.
Well, we had the good banter today in our game, and I mean, it was like, we were actually really pleased with our first half performance because we know what you guys are capable of, and we felt like we did a really good job, you know, at sort of slowing the pace down a bit and completing sets. And then obviously, there was a point where obviously you always in a game, you always go, whether it's wheelchair rugby or basketball or any sport. You realise that the game is kind of out of reach.
Yeah.
Even though you want to keep playing and you always want to keep striving to push hard, and that's what we were doing. But you do kind of realise that there's a point where, you know, you're not going to come back from this. I love it because as much as you will always compete to the end, everybody will always be focused and trying. There's always a time for a bit of a laugh and a joke.
Yeah, always. We were doing it in grand final when Leeds were dicking us in that first half. We're still having a laugh with them and joking and stuff like that. And I think I poked Jodie in the eye or something like that by accident, not on purpose.
Yeah, a stray finger. Have it.
But she just says, "I'll get you back for that." And I think 2 plays later, she absolutely, I almost swear, she smashed me clean out and into off touch and everything. Proper made a fool of me.
Oh,
but
no.
To be able to hurt somebody and be best of mates straight after it, it's unheard of, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. Do you know what though? I think I like it because it is what rugby is. Like whether it's rugby league or rugby union, it's in the running games. You go out, you knock the hell out of each other and this, that, and the other, but you always clap for each other and pat each other on the back and have a good game. And it's great that it's the same in the wheelchair sport.
There's a big appreciation for the sport itself in the players, and you see that because when you might have heard Wayne the kicks from Harry Jones today, getting them off them sticks. I'm going to lose sleep over them. They were kicking and they're bouncing off the sticks and just landing straight on your players or back in his lap, and then they're over there. I'm just like, what do we do? It's like the first time I'm like, okay, that's a fluke. Yeah. It's not going to happen again, guys. And then it happens again. But Wayne's going, from that perspective, you guys are scoring points on us. That's supposed to be negative. And we're going, what a kick! And and you're applauding it in the game as it's going, sort of thing. And
we said the same. There was a point in play where your guys in the second half, it took us down on the left hand side, and there was just these absolutely down the line hands passing, absolutely.
That's where they went back and forth.
But
everyone touched it.
Everyone touched it, and then even though we had a player on every one, there was a point where one of the players came off of the defence, and literally these sort of sideways half back passes were coming off, and we just all just went, well, there's nothing you can do with that, is there? He's just going, that was just sexy rugby. You just couldn't.
You got to applaud it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. There's no point in getting down about it, because at the end of the day, there's just no chance of stopping something like that. It's either going to be the luck of the bounce, or or it's not.
Yeah, I love it. But so today the score was, I have to put it, 86-44 to Halifax.
Nice.
Quite happy with it. Of course, I'm happy with it.
Of course, if you were disappointed, there'd be something wrong. Seriously, something like that. Yeah, but I really hated that score, 86. Yeah, no, but no. Like I say, our guys, we generally were really pleased. I mean, obviously, we want to be closer, and we're going to get there. It's going to take a lot of hard work. I just remember saying to our guys, stop being so robotic about the plays, how we're setting the plays up. Be a little bit more freewheeling with the ball. Like you guys,
we have players. Yeah. What we aim to do is we don't make plays to score. We make plays to give us options. So that's a great idea. Rather than saying, right, we're going to do, you go to 1, you go to 3, and then pass to 4, and he'll be over for a try. Because defence is reactive and they can change. So we always say, right, we're going to work this. That's going to manipulate the defensive line, and that's going to create a gap. So then do what you can with that. Yeah. Do what you can with that. Run and just teaching normal crosses and little things to do. Then it lets the players develop better as well, because they learn the thought side of it, because it's a massive part. It's one of the main reasons Wayne's so successful in rugby league. He's not the fastest player, but not the most manoeuvrable, but he can read the game better than anyone I've met. He knows where people are going to be before they do.
And that's definitely that basketball sort of like mentality coming in there, knowing where your players are,
knowing how chairs move,
exactly,
and how to react to them and things like that.
And he does it so well. He offloads really, really well. To the point where you just think, you don't think he's going to do it. You can see him looking at he's going to do it. I don't either. Yeah, exactly. You don't look like you get caught off guard by some of the passes. It's like you've got Velcro hands. It doesn't matter though. You're going to catch it. He just
puts it somewhere in that big circle, wherever my hands can reach, and hold back and catch the damn thing. and then calls it a good pass.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, great catch, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I just face planted the wall thanks to you.
But it's great chemistry, and I was saying to our guys before, it's like, I remember when I first started in the league, and I was playing you guys, and it felt like it was mainly Wayne and you, right? And then you obviously had the three of us, but I tell you what, the development of the rest of your players now is just
Rob and
Nathan, it's just gone right through the roof, and it's
I think the turning point for us was when me and Wayne knew what we were doing. We were saying, like, look, we're doing everything. This isn't going to work, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And people are going to shut that down. So we decided, right, the game is now that we've got to get these guys finishing, because that's a hard thing for a lot of players to do. When they've come from that, it's like a natural progression. A player who's very manoeuvrable in the chair will be one that scores a lot of tries. But then once they learn to not be a try scorer and be a playmaker, that's the golden ticket then. And I'd rather have 5 playmakers than 5 try scorers. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it, isn't it? You know, you need that. You need the people who are going to be willing to make that extra pass unselfishly, and it will make the difference. You know, all in all. Because
thinking about the 5 men, not the try line.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a big thing. It's like I said to our player Lucy today. She was getting really wound up because she wasn't sort of touching the ball so much, and I said, yeah, but Lucy, you got to remember, you coming up one side screaming for the ball is distracting the defender to think, if this person gets it, I've got to stop him.
It's a hard thing to teach. To be able to be the, in brackets, dummy runner.
The dummy runner, yeah.
But
exactly.
The thing is that it's still an option.
It's a crucial role as well, because at the end of the day,
if you're just taking one drive,
it's
defended easy, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got 5 players running at you, hell for leather, and you don't know which one of them's going to get. You have to singly defend every single one of them.
Exactly. And I said this to her, and I think it was about three sets later, we scored a try because I'd managed to come through. She made the run through the middle because I'd drawn 2 defenders in, and she screamed right. And I was like, this is the time now. Plonked it down to it, and then she did a quick offload to Harry and then to Gary in the corner.
Yeah, I like that one.
And I said to her, I said, look, that's what I'm talking about. I said, look, you didn't touch the ball for like 90% of the game.
When you did, it counted.
But it counted. You were the one that made the try at the end of the day. So, yeah, I think it's a really hard thing to teach young people as well. No disrespect to anybody like Lucy or anyone, but it's a hard thing for people to grasp, not being the try scorer.
I'm always very self-conscious when I am scoring tries, sort of thing, to congratulate players on, and really enforcing that, you know, that was a team effort tries, because 3 seasons ago everyone was saying, oh, you take Jack out of the game and Halifax are useless, and it's like, well, no, because these guys are creating the space for me then, and now the space isn't there for me. I've got to set them up, so it's completely role reverse there. But I always made a point. I felt bad that I'm scoring all the tries, and I thought I was taking something away from them. But now it's more like, if that does happen, I do score a try. We've got young Tom Green, who's not here today, but he's new upcoming single amp, and he's really good. But he's pushing, he's doing all the lines and everything. He might not be scoring many tries, but the amount of tries we're getting because at that number 4 and 2, because he's keeping his winger true. And I'm just like, mate, that's might as well be your try. And so every time we score a try, it's always like, that was you, that. And I never try to take credit for a try.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I think that's what you've got to be. You've got to be humble about it, and I think you always have been. And I always remember this. You always do this bloody going in as a juggernaut. You go in and you get hit side on by 1 or 2 chairs, and you sort of like lift up so high, it's just impossible to get the tag, and then you do this basketball dump off to the left or right, whichever wing is there, and they always score in the corner. It's just like, just nightmare.
It's the making. Same we were terrified today, because when we get you on the try line, we're like, you're going to be hard to see. You're coming at your full speed. There's not much you can do. I thought Rob did well today to
he did a belter. Absolute belter.
I mean, he broke his wheel.
Well, yeah, I broke his pin, and I'll take that pride. That was a try for me right there. I tell you.
And that's I like that idea of sort of when someone's pulling in and how to defend it. You like go, And it is fear. That's what it is. When you're coming steaming, I'm like, Rob, do you want to take this one? I'm like,
well, I think, you know what, we all have a good time, and I go in there, obviously, like me and Steve Halsey, you know, obviously we've got these quite big chairs and we're quite big guys, and Gary as well, and you know, we go in and we know battling through is not going to necessarily do it. You know, there's a little bit more to this game.
Looking like you're going to do that, always will draw 2 players.
Exactly, and that's what you hope is that you will draw 2 players to try and stop you, and then when you've got 2 players on you, that means there's an open player somewhere. But it's do you know what?
Sometimes it works. The person doesn't have the chair position right, and they bounce off, and you score a try as well.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. You know, some people call it bullying. I just call it, you know, tough love. I scored a try. Hey. No, it's great. I do love it when actually like Rob, he was a young lad. And
he's tiny.
He's tiny, but I love going at them because I just think, do you know what? I love the attitude of I'm not backing down from this guy, and you know what I mean. He just takes it. And it takes fair play, because if I land on him, I'm 18 stone and a chair. That's not going to be a nice landing, you know what I mean. So fair crack to the guy. He takes it.
He's fearless, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I think we will leave it there, though.
Yeah.
But I'm quite happy with that, mate. That was really good.
No, it was a pleasure, and you know, I hope the podcasting and you know, everything else keeps going, because well, you know, you seem to have a knack for it, and you seem to enjoy it. So
YouTube training, mate.
Yeah, that's where it all comes from, man. That's where it all comes from. You got to learn it from somewhere.
You can get a PhD on YouTube, maybe.
that's quite true.
That's a lie. I don't think you can.
No, yeah, no. You could try. You can try it now, yeah.
But yeah, check out the Celtic Cup end of this month.
Yeah, 27th of April, I believe.
27th of April, that's going to be great. I can't go, so someone needs to go and tell me how it is.
Yeah. Well, you know, hopefully they might do some live streaming. Well, it's actually up at your home course.
It is, yeah.
It's at Halifax.
I should know more about this.
Yeah. Come on, get with the programme. You know what I mean? Just like that. Yeah. But yeah, so well, obviously, if anybody goes down or whatever, wants to live stream it, that'd be great. Yeah. You know, so
I think I said to have a word with Fred, see if Fred was available.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's in Dartford, isn't he?
Yeah. But you never know. He's keen. He'll do something like that.
Yeah. But yeah. No, cool. Thanks for that, mate.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure, Jack.